city. And Father, we'll be careful not to give you all the glory and all the praise and all the honor. We ask this in Jesus Christ that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman London. Roll call. Councilman London.
Present.
Councilwoman Cuellar. Councilman Box. Present. And myself present. Councilman Sims is not with us this evening. With roll call being taken, first order of business, I would ask for the approval of the minutes from the regular city council meeting of July 19th, 2022.
Motion to approve the minutes from regular council meeting July 19th, 2022.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Thank you. Okay. Next order of business, I would ask for the approval of the bills.
Motion to pay the bills of $818,140.80.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. At this time, we would look for any professional or consultants that might be looking to deliver us a report tonight. Any professionals or consultants for a report? Fair enough. Mayor, the floor is yours, sir.
First of all, I'd like to say good evening to everyone, and we're so thankful and grateful that you've come tonight to be able to participate in this process and to know exactly what is going on in your city. I have several different things that I want to talk to you all about tonight. However, I know that there's been some things that have transpired over the last started on July 5th, and it was about a resolution that we adopted here at the city to be able to let police officers participate in the World Games. I wanted to be able to address this from the city's position, so I have a statement that I've crafted that I'd like to read to you tonight before I start to go through some of the other things that we have going on. And my statement is this: thank you, Council President Spivey, for your remarks, and everything you said is exactly right when we were discussing this issue. Irondale is a great city, and I'm thankful to be the mayor. I appreciate when people come to council meetings and give feedback on how we can make Irondale better. So I want to personally thank each person who provided their comments at the last council meeting. Now, I understand a better Irondale looks different for some of us. And I am not going to always agree with every council member, every person who walks up to give a comment, nor would you want me to. There is not an issue of gender or sex discrimination in the city of Irondale. We comply with state and federal law, including following the rules and regulations of the Personnel Board of Jefferson County. Let me repeat that again to make sure that everybody heard exactly what I said. We comply with state and federal law, including following the rules and regulations of the Personnel Board of Jefferson County. Know this, as mayor, I'm working to ensure we have a healthy work environment, free of discrimination on all levels. And if any complaint comes to me, we investigate and we make sure the right thing is done. That is my comment to all of you. Okay, let me get into some of the things that have transpired in the city of Irondale since we had the last council meeting. I don't know how many people may know Lieutenant Stat. He was here, worked as a city, retired as a lieutenant, had about 40 years in doing police work, and he died last week. And we just want to be able to give our condolences to his family, to let them know that we support them during this moment of grieving that they have going on in their family. Also, Joan Ratchford, who served on the city council from 2004 to 2008. She was the counselor for District 3 at that time because we had 7 districts. Her husband, Bob Ratchford, died last week. They lived in North Carolina. They moved from Irondale to go to North Carolina. So also I want to wish my condolences to Joan Ratchford. We stayed in contact with each other through Facebook, so that's how I know that our Bob died. But I know that towards the end of his journey, he was in hospice. So we just want everybody to pray for the Ratchford family and also for the staff family, because we, even though you may not be here, we still can look at you as being a member of the Irondale family, and we want to be able to support you in any way we can during that time. Also, I want to let everybody know that on Thursday, the city closed on the Holt property, 106 acres up Highway 78 that sits on the Cahaba River. This is our second purchase in 2 months. We closed on the Zamora in June. We closed on the Holt property in July. Lord knows what we're going to close on in August. We seem to be a closing machine around here, but we do have some other things that we're have our eyes on, and we would like to add that to the city inventory. You may be sitting there and say, why is the city purchasing all of this property? City never done it before. Why are they doing it now? Well, the vision that we have, or I would say that the vision that I have that I'm sharing with everyone, is that the city of Irondale wants to become a recreational destination point. So when people think about doing the river, thank you for that clap right there. I wasn't expecting that, but I'll pull it on in. But we want to become a recreational destination point. We were blessed to have so many natural assets in this city, from Ruffner to the Cahaba. People are constantly biking through the city on a regular basis, and we want to make sure that we continue to set ourselves apart from other municipalities. So the only thing that I can say, continue to watch out, because that's the direction that we're moving in. And so far, it's been a good ride here in the city of Irondale. On July the 29th, we had movie night in the park, a screen scene in the park. We had the final showing, or the final movie. It was Black Panther, well attended, probably over 300 people was there before the rain finally came in, or the wind finally came in and shut everything down. But we had a wonderful time doing that. And then we followed it up on Saturday with I Love Irondale Day. I must say that the Lord must be shining on the city of Irondale, because Saturday at 4:30, it rained everywhere in the city of Irondale except from downtown. I was at home getting ready, and I called my wife to say, hey, do I need to come down to City Hall? She didn't answer the phone, but Jade and I jumped in the car, came down here anyway. It's raining, pouring down on Belmont. It's raining on Old Leeds. We turn on the Grants Mill. As soon as we get past the development, it stopped raining. We came, we had a good time. People partied. People got a chance to be able to see the cars, the young entrepreneurs, meet the council members, be able to meet the principals. We even had a police officer that was getting jiggy with it. Glad I went up there. They put me on the spot. And I'm sorry if you all didn't understand what I said, get jiggy with it. I try to consider myself to be a teenager, even though I'm quite old, but that's slang for dancing. So he was really throwing down out there. Officer Jason Hill really had a good time, being able to do that. But I just want to thank my spouse, because she was the one that was responsible for these 2 days. And her name is Kimberly Miles-Stewart. So if you all would give her a round of applause for all of the hard work that she put in. And I thought that I was going to kill her before we made it to the 29th, but we made it through. And we're looking forward to doing the same thing next year. Actually, our son Christian recommended that I create a proclamation next year identifying whatever week we decide to do I Love Irondale in the screen scene, summer screen scene, to have a proclamation to declare that I love Irondale weekend. So we're really looking forward to being able to do that as well. I went to a couple of conferences, but the only one I went to a human resource conference in Huntsville from July the 17th through the 20th. Very interesting about all of the different things that are going on in the personnel field. But also I had a chance to go down to Point Clear for Economic Development Conference. And the reason that I brought up the Economic Development Conference, because I had so many people at that conference that was bombarding me about wanting to bring certain entities that you all have told us that you want, like sit-down restaurants and coffee shops. There are people that have an interest of wanting to come to the city of Irondale. Matter of fact, one of them will be touring the city on Thursday. And they're looking at putting a lot of these activities at the new Publix development. And also Price Hightower has 3 to 5 acres that is available on his land for commercial as well. So I'm just telling everybody to stay tuned. If you haven't taken pictures of that corner, please take pictures of that corner, because that corner will never look the way that you thought, that it was going to look, with EWTN getting ready to build a new building right there on the corner. If you're trying to figure out what's going on that corner, that's why they're moving the dirt there. We have the expansion of Grants Mill Road. Someone did send me an email to say, Mayor, would you please tell us about the closures? I love to tell you all about the closures, but Jefferson County, every time I go out and tell everybody what's going to take place, Jefferson County throws me a curveball and send out some more dates. What I can tell you, the last time they told me, from August the 1st through October 31st, I think that's 90 days, that road would be closed the entire time. So please begin to work on your alternate route. But from August the 1st through October the 31st, that'll be the first phase, and that road would be closed for 90 days. They're going to be doing some blasting. They're going to be tearing that mountain down, and they don't want any cars coming through for anybody to be injured. So that's what's going on there. I didn't make my notes. I'm going off the cuff, but I think I've shared with you all of the things that are going on in the great city of Irondale. Things are going very well financially. If you want to be here at the end of the month, we're going to give you the second phase for the road paving project that is getting ready to take place. Also, I'll give you an update on 22 and 22. We've accomplished a lot of those things, but I'll give you an update and let you know exactly how those things are playing out. One of them are on the agenda tonight. We received an Apple study with the Regional Planning Commission to do planning on Grants Mill Road from the beginning of Irondale all the way to John Rogers Road. If you look at the 22 that I put on there, I talked about how we were going to revitalize Crestwood. With all the other development going on, Crestwood is still dear to my heart because that's the living room to the city. People still drive that road every day. And what people see on that road, that's the first thing that they think about the city of Irondale. And I want to make sure that I change their thoughts going forward. If you have any questions about anything that I've said or anything that I've stated, please feel free to call 205-951-1413. That's where I reside from Tuesday through Thursday. Thank you, Council President, giving me the opportunity to be able to share with our citizens. Hopefully I shared something with them that was beneficial.
I'm sure you did, sir. Thank you very much for that. At this time, we would call for any of our department heads that may want to deliver a report to us this evening. Any department heads? Yes, sir. Greetings, Chief.
Okay, I just had a couple things I wanted to bring up, kind of a reminder. I put out a notice about it today, a media release for this Saturday, August the 6th. We're going to be doing the search and rescue training down at the Cahaba and around the Church of the Highlands area. So if you see fire department units from multiple jurisdictions out there. That's what's going on Saturday. So that's probably going to start about 9 a.m. and it'll just last until they're done with the scenarios. They're thinking 3 or 4 p.m. But just want to let everybody know that was here in case you don't see it on our Facebook page. So a couple things that we've done that I wanted to make sure that we recognize the people that have done them are Charles Holliday, one of the lieutenants that is assisting Assistant Chief Doss with inspections on the fire side, and David Brasher, one of the lieutenants that does public education, have been working with the schools as well as our crews to make sure that they're safe before school starts back. So all of our crews and inspectors have gone through and done inspections of all of the schools in Irondale to make sure that everything's ready to go before school starts, as well as some pre-incident planning and just walkthroughs of the entire school. So that's gone on in the last month. They've worked hard to make sure that was completed before school started. So just want to commend them for that. And Lieutenant Brasher, along with the crews this summer during the summer programs, was able to reach close to 200 students just during the summer and doing some fire prevention and safety programs as well. So I think that was great for the kids to be able to keep learning even when school is out. So going along with that, in fire safety, you should start seeing in the trash bill, water bill next month for some fire safety messages to start being in the bill. One of the ways that we can receive ISO credit is to reach as much of the population as possible, and water bills and trash bills are the best way to do that. So we're trying to use some other avenues for people that may not see our Facebook, that we can get messages out on paper as well. So we're going to try to just do that quarterly. It's not something that will be every month, but hopefully August, September, it'll be out, just depending on if they get everything lined up. So I also wanted to talk about the Explorer program. We currently have 6. We're adding 3 new Explorers that are finishing up some items and will be able to ride on the trucks pretty soon. But we have 1 Explorer that is this summer dual enrolled in Jeff State. She'll be a senior this year, but she's getting her EMT basic, and as soon as she graduates, she'll be able to take the test to get her license. But she's identified that this is definitely what she wants to do, and so hopefully we'll see her here as an employee one day. So kind of proud about that. But just wanted to remind everybody about the event Saturday going on. So if you see that, don't be alarmed. It's just a training event. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just a training exercise, right? Training exercise.
Just a train.
All right. Any other department heads that would like to deliver a report this evening? Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Now we're going to get into our council member, standing committee, or special committee reports. I want to go ahead and start to sort of kind of piggyback a little bit on the mayor's statement. This will be a statement kind of coming from me as the council president. So therefore, many on the city council have received emails from citizens in the city of Irondale commenting on the council meeting for July the 5th surrounding the city's contract with the city of Birmingham during the World Games. We would like to respond to those emails and also to those who spoke during the public comment time at the last city council meeting. Each individual on the council has been elected to serve, and each council member's opinions are their own. We do not condone any discriminatory remarks that demean or demoralize any individual, period. The city of Irondale is committed to following state and federal laws that prohibits discrimination in the workplace and consistently strives to maintain a healthy work environment. The policies of the city reflect this and are in line with the Jefferson County personnel rules and regulations, as well as state and federal laws. We want you all to know that the city has been providing a non-discriminatory work environment and will continue to provide that same environment in the future to come. Thank you. As far as any additions to my report, I appreciated my time at the I Love Irondale Festival. So Mayor and First Lady, thank you for putting that together. Other than that, things are looking well on the north side, and I haven't really received any information on the south side, aside for some Airbnb stuff, and I know we're working through that and listening to comments there. As far as Roebuck Plaza, I know some things were brought to me in person, which is always great during the festival. So I just want to say I'll roll those comments up to the appropriate departments. Thank you for joining us this evening. Councilman Box?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Wow, what a great turnout again. I really personally just love seeing everybody engage and be involved and come see what's going on, learn like I'm learning how to be a better citizen in the city. Echoing Council President Spivey's comments about the I Love Irondale celebration, it was great. It's the thing that the mayor's doing with the scenes and the gathering there is good for us all to develop cohesion and develop unity in the city. Good to see the dog park, for those of you that came by, and then also the survey on what you guys wanted to see in Irondale. I hope everybody had a chance to come by and put their dots up. Moving to the neighborhoods in District 4, the bridge is still under construction, coming along in Mount Lake Estates, and we're still working. The mayor's in heavy negotiations on some other things for the Heritage Place neighborhood. I'd still love to hear from my guys out at Hampton Place and the other spread out neighborhoods. Anything you need from me, please contact me and let me know. If you need my cell phone number, it's 205-369-1575. It's a business phone, but I will return text or calls when I get a chance to. And with that, that's all my report.
Fair enough. Councilwoman Cuellar?
Evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is on. Okay, it's on now. I also want to comment on the I Love Irondale event. Great event. Thank you, Kimberly. I don't see her here, but they did a great job. I also want to thank our police department and our fire department that was there present to provide, as well as the public works department, who made sure that everything was clean, the tables were set up. You guys did a great job, and I really, really appreciate what you did. And the families that were there had a wonderful time. So this was a wonderful event, and I enjoyed it. And I want to also stress to those who were not able to make the event, there is a survey, and I believe, do we have it on the website, the link where the people can take the survey online for those that couldn't attend? Okay, can we please get that up? So that the residents that couldn't attend and want to take the survey on the master plan for the Irondale parks, all of the parks that we have, as well as the master plan for our dog park. That one, excellent. Both were well done. And for those of you that have been waiting for the dog park and when are we going to get going with that, please go to the website, get on the link, and I think you're going to be very happy with what you see. Really nice, very nice. The second thing that I wanted to focus on was, and I'm looking at my notes, we've had several comments from various residents in regard to Airbnb, fireworks. There's concern with fireworks as well. And I want you to know that I have been in discussions with our city attorney. We're not dragging our feet on this. We will be having an ordinance meeting at some point in time, but I ask that you be patient with us. We're not overlooking you or ignoring you or anything like that. It just takes time to get these things together, so please be patient with us. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman London?
Thank you, Council President. A couple of things. Football, cheerleaders is in full blast. Those guys was out on Saturday at the I Love Irondale. So we're excited about that. Softball and a baseball sign up. And Mayor's going to also talk about the master plan in a second. But everybody congratulated First Lady Kimberly Miles Stewart, which she's doing a fantastic job. But I want to congratulate all the other volunteers. Ever since we had Movie in the Park and everything that we've done this summer, they have been there consistently, everything that we do. You know, I think a few of them are here tonight, maybe not. Even Mayor Stewart's daughter can't stay away from New York. She always coming from New York just to help us out. So I just want to, you know who you are. I talked to some of you today. You know who you are. I just want to say thank you for that. But my last 30-second, Mayor, we want to talk about the master plan a little bit.
Yes, Councilwoman Cuellar, already mentioned about the master plan for the dog park. I was just so excited about it. If you all came to the last council meeting, I told the crowd that it was going to be unveiled that night, and I was incorrect. I had to wait a couple of weeks until the citizens had a chance to be able to give their input. But it will be something that every citizen in this city will be proud of. You will be able to be the envy of other municipalities. It's a fantastic concept that has been put together by McNally and Associates, and we'll make sure that we get it out on the website so that we can also be able to get your feedback, because at the end of the day, we want to have what you want to be in the park. I mean, it's all about what the citizens want. And then we follow that up with the master plan for all of our parks. We didn't want to do a piecemeal approach where you do something in this park, you do a little bit in this park, you do a little bit in this park. And, at the end of the day, you really can't see the return because you did enough just to do enough, but no one can be able to notice that you've really made an impact and that you've made a difference. We want everybody to go and to participate because the Zamora property is a part of this survey, as well as the Hope property is a part of it as well. Lee, you say it's not, the link is not out there yet? Okay, we'll make sure that the link is out there before the week is out. But like I said, we just want you to participate and to be a part of the process. And I love when you participate, because when things don't turn out right, you can't blame me.
That's right.
Because the only thing I'm going to tell you, I did exactly what you asked me to do. So if you're going to blame anybody, take this finger that go that way and turn it back the other way, because it would definitely be your fault. But I know I have some dry humor and probably should have been a comedian more than I should have been a mayor. However, please go out and participate on both of those surveys, as Councilman London and Councilwoman Cuellar said, because we want to be able to get your feedback and to be able to incorporate the things that you would like to have in those facilities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Cuellar, you motioned?
Yes, there was one other thing that I overlooked on my notes, and that is, and I know a bunch of you are going to ask me about the expense report. Why is it over $800,000? Well, we had capital improvements. We had to move our utilities, all for the roundabout. All of that costs money. And then we've also had sales tax rebates. So that's why it's higher than it normally is. So hopefully that will prevent all of the calls that I always get. Why was it so high? Now you know why. About a little under 600,000 were those two items. Otherwise, it's a normal expense report. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your comments this evening. So we're good there. Any reports of any boards or non-council committees this evening? Reports of boards or non-council committees? Fair enough. We do not have any public hearings this evening, so we will go ahead and enter into the deliberation phase of agenda items only. We have a robust agenda this evening consisting of 21 items. So let's go. Item number 1. All right, so resolve the resolution 2022 R128 authorizes the city of Irondale to accept a grant from ADEM in the amount of $311,777 for the purchase of a curbside collection vehicle and 64-gallon curbside carts. Councilman London, any questions on this?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No, but for the benefit of our audience that is here, this involves our recycling, and this is a grant that we received from ADEM, and this is totally funded, so the city will not expend any funds, and it will help us in our efforts to cut down on contaminated recycling and lower the costs that we're paying for that. So this is wonderful news. I want to thank Public Works Pennington, Frank Pennington, for working with this and making this possible, and I'm very excited about what we're going to be having in the short term on our recycling efforts. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Box, any comments? All right. And just to piggyback on Councilwoman Cuellar, I know this was a collaborative effort between Public Works and our city clerk, Miss Leanne Allison. So just huge, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to do this or if you were asked to do it, but I appreciate you guys doing it. So just a huge, when we talk about work ethic in our city and our department heads and stuff like that, you know, just a huge, I'm not sure if Frank is in the room this night, but I just want to say big thanks. It's hopefully, like Councilwoman Cuellar said, will help drive down our recycling percentages and make that a more viable program. Obviously, we know that we want to participate in it, but it has to be viable. So hopefully this will be a step in that right direction. So this is on basically the consent agenda. Are we good to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Everybody's good? All right.
Yes.
Item number 2, resolve the resolution 2022 R129 declares that certain property, namely 49 sections of 5-inch fire hose, is not needed for public or municipal purposes and directs disposal of such property through donation to local fire departments for use. Councilman London, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No question.
And I'm good as well, thank you. We agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 3, resolution 2022 R130 authorizes the city of Irondale to enter into agreements with Chambliss Math Car PC for the performance of ambulance billing services. Councilman Lennon, any questions on this?
And no question, but Chief, do you want to explain a little bit? Yeah. Just so the people can know what's going on.
This is pretty much an agreement for the EMS billing for our EMS transport service to recover some of the delinquent accounts that we have. When we first set this up with Rocky Ridge EMS billing, we didn't set up covering the delinquent accounts. So now, it's July the 12th has been a year since we've been transporting, and we have a backlog of delinquent accounts. So they can't do anything with it until we pass something for them to send it to collections. This is the particular company that they use with their other accounts, other departments that they bill for. It's easy for them. They use the same computer programs. They can transfer everything over very quickly and get that to them to process for collections.
Councilwoman, any other
No,
follow-up questions?
that's it. Thank you, sir.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No questions.
No questions. Thank you, sir, for your explanation. Do we agree to keep that on consent?
Yes.
All right. Item number 4, resolve the resolution 2022 R131 revises statement of work -07 between the city of Irondale and Ingenuity Inc., the provider for the vehicle and boat registration software and services utilized by the city's revenue department to extend the term of the agreement. Councilman Lennon, any questions there?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No questions.
No questions for myself either. We agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
All right. Item number 5, resolution 2022 R132 authorizes Mayor James D. Stewart Jr. to execute a resolution for and an agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation on behalf of the city of Irondale regarding project number HSIP-IM-1459 with 321 in parentheses for the micro billing OGFC safety treatment and traffic stripe of I-459 from Grants Mill Road to 0.27 miles south of State Road 7, i.e. US Highway 11. Councilman Lennon, any questions there?
That was a lot of words.
It was, wasn't it? All
No,
right.
no question.
Outstanding. Councilwoman Cuellar.
No questions, but comment. I'm glad that AlDOT is working with the city and getting this done. It'll help to keep our roads striped and all the maintenance that needs to be done. It's very good for us, and I'm very happy to see that this is going to be happening.
Fantastic. Councilman Box.
No questions.
All right. No questions myself. We agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
All right. Item number 6, resolve the resolution 2022 R133 declares that certain property, namely 2011 John Deere 85D excavator, is not needed for public or municipal purposes and directs the disposal of such property through trade-in to Warrior Tractor and Equipment as part of a purchase of a new excavator by the city. Councilman London, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No question.
I'm good. We agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Fantastic. Item number 7, resolve the resolution 2022 R134 modifies resolution 2022 R120 and 2022 R121 to include specific employee position information as requested by the Jefferson County Personnel Board related to the compensation increase of 14% for firefighters and the compensation increase of 14% for all other public safety employees. I believe this is a housekeeping issue. Councilman London, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
I'm good.
I'm good as well. We agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Outstanding. Item number 8, resolve the resolution 2022 R135 authorizes the city of Irondale to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the United States Marshal Service on behalf of the city of Irondale and the Irondale Police Department. This is actually a really cool resolution. I don't know if anybody from the police department wants to speak on that. Please, sir, come on up.
Lieutenant Wiggins is out of town, so it's falling to me. Excuse me, Chief Wiggins. I've demoted him. We'll talk later.
That's what he gets for not being here.
My name is Lieutenant Kellogg. What this will enable us to do is we can have what is called a TFO, which stands for Task Force Officer. That officer, which is a detective, will be assigned to the United States Marshals Task Force. And this enables them to have a liaison with our agency, and it enables us to expand our investigative capabilities, particularly in the areas of fugitive apprehension and, how shall I put this? There's a lot of cybercrime and stuff that goes on out there. It enables us to do that. Additionally, as part of this, anytime our agency has a narcotics unit, and our narcotics unit can and has filed for forfeiture accounts over the years. And this will give us another avenue of that. We can take it federally as opposed to local courts or in Jefferson County. They do a fine job, but they tend to be overbooked. Additionally, this allows us to provide our officers, our line officers, our supervisors with additional training. The United States Marshal Service is located at Liberty Parkway, and I've had the privilege to train with those guys, and they have state-of-the-art technology. It is straight out of Star Wars. They have buildings set up that you can do building searches. You can train on what we call force on force, which is the paintball guns, and it would enable us to give our officers more training than they're currently available, and we can do it for, in some cases, a lot less money or even free. Now, by free, I mean we let them have one of our officers. Any questions?
Councilman Lennon, any questions?
Well, yes, Lieutenant,
Yes, sir.
to my knowledge, first time Irondale ever participated in something like this?
No, sir. We currently have 2 officers assigned to the ATF task force. Now, they're not on a permanent basis. Their association with the ATF is our officers work out of our office, and they work our cases primarily. However, if there's a case involving firearms or explosives or some other assistance we could use to help with the federal officers could give us, regrettably, I can associate that with Mr. and Mrs. Chen's homicide. Our federal big brothers in the ATF were essential in helping us solve that crime. They enabled us to expand our reach because the offender was out of state. One of those officers currently assigned to the ATF task force, Investigator Clint Ballard, is going to be our selection to go to the Marshal Service. Investigator David Perryman will still stay with the ATF, and we're going to promote another officer to assist him.
Awesome.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
I was very excited when I saw this. This is wonderful for the city. It will certainly give us some additional resources, training that we need.
Oh, absolutely, yes, ma'am.
In cracking down on these types of crimes. So I'm very excited about it.
Councilman Box?
No questions.
And just for me, just once again, very, very cool agenda item. I'm looking forward to you guys being able to expand your wheelhouse and just continue to provide a higher level of service to citizens of Irondale. So I think it's absolutely great.
Well, and I know that the chief would want me to thank the mayor and council for their foresight in this matter. It's good to know that my agency has good stewards of the city that are willing to permit us to expand our reach.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. All right. We can go ahead and agree to keep that on consent?
Yes.
Outstanding. Item number 9, resolve the resolution 2022 R136 authorizes the city of Irondale to join as participants in certain opioid litigation settlements. Miss April, this has your kind of name on it. Do you care to elaborate, or is there anything you would like to share with us?
Certain lawsuits, and this would allow the mayor to settle those as a member of that class under the terms that would be for that particular class. So that is all that this is.
Perfect. Councilman London, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Just a comment, didn't we do something similar to this, what was it, last year? Where we joined?
We did, but that authorized the filing of the litigation, and this would authorize the settlement of it.
Good, thank you.
Councilman Box?
She's answered all my questions.
Perfect. Thank you, ma'am. We agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Item number 10, resolve the resolution 2022 R137 authorizes the donation of $14,480 to the Jefferson County International Baccalaureate School for use for educational purposes. Councilman London, any questions on that?
No question.
Okay.
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No questions.
And myself, no questions. We agreed to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Yes.
Outstanding. Item number 11, resolution 2022 R138 authorizes the execution of a service agreement with the Exchange Club of Irondale, Inc. in the amount of $5,000 for flag replacement and maintenance services on Crestwood Boulevard. Councilman London, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions, just a comment. I want to thank John Shine and the Exchange Club for continuing to work with this. You've been wonderful throughout the years and making sure that the flags that you see on Crestwood Boulevard. John, I really appreciate your emails that you send us to let us know when the flags are to be flown, half-staff. You help keep us updated on things, and I really appreciate what you do.
Councilman Box?
The only thing I'd like to say, Council President Spivey, is April, would it be appropriate if I put some of the discretionary funds with this allocation we're looking at?
That is certainly something that you can elect to do.
I'd like to add $1,000 from discretionary funds for my 2022, if that's
Okay. So are you saying to go with it, and so 5 + 1 = 6?
That's correct. Yes.
Copy that. All right. Motion to modify the resolution. Councilman London, you good?
Good.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Good.
All right. Councilman Boxer, obviously, I'm good with it as well. So we're going to go ahead and strike through 5 and add 6 as a total for that. And then as far as the Exchange Club goes, John, I saw it. There you are. Thank you. Anything you particularly want to say regarding this? I know we've kind of passed that non-council committee area, but
Yeah, I just like to mention, thank the city. The city of Irondale has been very gracious in working together with us and trying to move flags up and down when they are working. When they are not working, the Exchange Club does move the flags up and down when it's necessary. Also, we've replaced and shared the cost of flags with the city for the past several years. Flags right now are running about $70 a piece. And we have over 80 flags that we have to do, and they need to be replaced at least once a year. So this is something, an ongoing project, and I appreciate you putting it on the agenda very much, and hopefully we can make some other arrangements next year.
thank you. And I think it's the holly bushes next to the flagpoles that can be problematic from time to time, right? Weren't you talking about sometimes there was some shrubbery or something like that that was giving you a hard time every now and then?
You know, when you're wearing shorts, it's a little ticklish around. So the city has been most gracious to cut some of it around, away from some of it. There still needs to be some work done.
Copy that. Thank you. I just, ever since you told me about that issue, I've always just had a mental image in my head. So I had to share. I'm a sharer. All right. Item number 12, resolve the resolution 2022 R139. I'm sorry. I skipped a step. We can agree to keep that all on consent?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Item number 12, resolution 2022 R139 authorizes the lease of 2 buildings located at 3521 Ratliff Road, Irondale, Alabama, to the Zamora Shriners of Central Alabama, excuse me, and the execution of a lease agreement related thereto. Councilman London, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Quayer?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No questions.
And myself, no questions. And we can all agree to keep that on consent?
One comment, just for the sake of clarity. here.
Please.
I did have some questions about which buildings they were. No, it's not the big Zamora Temple dome structure. These are 2 portable buildings, that are behind that structure. So just to let you know.
Thank you, ma'am. We can agree to keep that on consent?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 13, resolve the resolution 2022 R140 declares that certain property, namely a 2016 Pierce 100-foot ladder truck, is not needed for public or municipal purposes and directs the disposal of such property through the sale of such property to the Mississippi State Fire College in the sum of $850,000. Councilman London, any questions on
No,
this?
no question.
All right, Councilwoman Cuellar?
No, but if Fire Chief McDaniel wants to come and talk a little bit about what's going on there,
Sure.
that would be great.
Is there anything you would like to say, Chief?
Well, I'll just talk about 13 and 14. So I guess because those go together. So.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
So what we're looking at is purchasing a new 100-foot platform that is configured differently than the current platform that we have. When this truck that we currently have was built, it was the best thing that we could get at that time. The configuration that we're looking at was not available. The proposed truck is packaged smaller. Its overall height is shorter than the current truck. The weight is lighter, and it's just a whole lot. The bucket does not sit over the front, and so it provides a lot more maneuverability for us and will allow us to get in even more areas that we may or may not be able to get into now, and allow us to get into areas that we can get into now easier. And I think it will help build the confidence of the people driving the trucks, responding to, setting up that. Like I said, what we have is a great truck. There's just a configuration that is available now that would provide an even better piece of equipment for the city. So we're proposing to sell the current truck and purchase the new one, and that's why. So
Fantastic.
and I guess I would also go to say that the purchase price is we're going to lease that. It's going to be, we already have lease payments that we pay on this truck annually. We're just going to have new lease payments. We're not paying out the amount that's on here all at one time. So I
Okay.
just don't want y'all to think we're spending all that
Outstanding.
at one time.
Stay close, just in case.
That's right.
Councilman Lennon, any questions
No
on that?
question. No
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No, I'm satisfied.
And I'm good as well. We can agree to keep this on consent.
Yes.
Correct? Outstanding. All right, so we're going to move into the regular agenda. All right, so new business. Resolve the resolution 2022 R141 authorizes the execution of an equipment proposal with Emergency Equipment Professionals in a 10-year lease capitalized purchase agreement with Republic First National in the amount of $1,654,000 for a 2022 Pierce aerial truck for use by the Irondale Fire Department. I know Chief just kind of gave us an idea about that. Councilman London, do you have any additional questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
Chief, just a comment. I think when we were discussing this, you said this is also going to give us a much better warranty platform with this new vehicle than where we currently exist as well.
Correct. So the vehicle that we currently have, there are some of the warranties that have expired. It's mainly the electrical, which covers a lot of the electrical modules and things that control the truck. So any of those that go out of warranty would have to be a maintenance covered by the city. The new vehicle, of course, we get all new warranties on everything. So that's going to bring overall maintenance cost to the city down.
And I think that you had said, well, that this will increase a percentage of usage, especially in residential neighborhoods.
Correct. Correct. And also, before you guys move forward, So we do need to make sure that's clarified. Okay, so the resolution's correct. I just wanted to clarify something on the agenda where it says the 10-year lease, it's actually a 15.
Copy.
I know your resolution's correct, but for the audience. Which 15 is standard for aerials and platform trucks.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Lennon, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
I'm good.
Okay, I'm good as well. Now, this is a resolution, but we will need to take it through the ordinance process, so if someone could be on the ready line for that. Item number 15, resolve that resolution 2022 R142 authorizes the city of Irondale to enter into an agreement with Alabama Power for surveillance camera installation at the Irondale Public Works Building in an amount not to exceed $1,314.02 per month plus energy usage. Councilman London, any questions there?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No, I'm satisfied.
I'm satisfied as well. Thank you. Resolution, we need to take it through the ordinance process. Item number 16, resolve the resolution 2022 R143 authorizes the city of Irondale to enter into an agreement with Alabama Power for surveillance camera installation at the Cahaba Trail and Beacon Park in an amount not to exceed $1,004.17 per month plus energy usage. Councilman London, any questions?
No question, comment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No question.
And myself, no questions either. I think this is a huge thing if we decide to pass it this evening based on how much those areas are getting used.
Yep.
All right, once again, resolution going through the ordinance process. Item number 17, resolve the resolution 2022 R144 authorizes the city of Irondale to enter into an agreement with Alabama Power for surveillance camera installation at Ruffner Park in an amount not to exceed $812.51 per month plus energy usage. Councilman London, any questions there?
No question.
All right, Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions, but a comment because these are three different items and I know I've received some questions and I want to go ahead and answer for all three of them. The one that, the first one, which was 15, item 15, this is replacing the existing cameras in our public works buildings, and they need to be replaced while adding a couple more views. So this area is gated, so our police department can't always go in there all the time, and we have 24/7 surveillance. And it also provides evidence for prosecution if there's any criminal activity that takes place. And so this gives us what we need. And the same thing with item 16 and 17. So if anyone's wondering, why are we doing all this? Now you know why. It's to provide the security that we need. These areas are being used more and more. And this is 24/7. And if there's anything, we have video to help us. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Box, any questions on this?
The only question on it, and really it's on all three, but since the one at Public Works, if they're already there, that's good enough. I know having security cameras in our neighborhood that sabotage and damage is sometimes things people with of ill intent. I'm sure these are high grade and going to be high enough off the ground where it's going to be very difficult for someone to damage them.
Yes, these are block cameras that are installed by Alabama Power, which are put on their power poles.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor. No questions.
And no questions myself as well. That item also resolution, putting it through the ordinance process. All right. Item number 18, resolve the resolution 2022 R145 authorizes the city of Irondale into an agreement with the Regional Planning Commission of Greater Birmingham for a trail study at Shades Creek in an amount not to exceed $11,995.40. Before we talk about this, we were able to find a funding source for this, so this is actually funded. Councilman London, any questions there?
No question.
All right, Councilwoman Cuellar?
No questions.
Councilman Box?
No question.
All right. Since this has a funding source, it could technically move to the consent agenda. Do we have agreement to move this to the consent agenda?
Agreement.
All right, outstanding. So yes, sir.
Exactly what this is.
Sure, go for it. Thank you.
Okay. This is what I was talking about, one of the 22 and 22 items. This will be a study of Crestwood Boulevard from once you enter into the city of Irondale, all the way to John Rogers. This is a $60,000 grant. The city is only having to put up this amount to be able to get it done. So I wanted to let you all know that the grant is more than the $11,995 that the city is paying their portion. It's an 80-20 split, but it's in its totality, it's a $60,000 grant.
Thank you, sir. So we've agreed to move item number 18 to the consent agenda. So when the agenda is introduced, just along with some of the revisions we've made thus far. Item number 19, resolve the resolution 2022 R146. So authorizes the city of Irondale to enter into an agreement with Warrior Tractor and Equipment Company for the purchase of one 2023 John Deere 35 PLC excavator, one 2022 John Deere 60G compact excavator, and an ancillary items in the amount not to exceed $373,619.96. Councilman Lennon, any questions there?
No question, except Morris is not here tonight. Right. Oh, there we are. What's the difference between a 135 PLC and a 85D?
The 65 or the 85 is what we're turning in now. It was bought in 2011. That machine started to experience some wear and tear on it. We've had some stuff that's going wrong probably in the last few months. The 60 is the machine that we pretty much leave on a trailer. We use it every day for maintenance type things. So we were going to trade the 85 in and use the 135, which is the bigger machine. Me and Frank have talked about it a lot. That's going to allow them to do some extra things as far as the reach, cross, clean up some stuff, and we'll use that on all of our new construction that goes in for the paving projects and stuff like that.
I got you. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No, and just a comment, Mr. Morris did note that this machine that we're acquiring is gonna be used, a lot of the new construction that's going on, they needed something reliable than what they currently got. And they also received a very good offer on this equipment that they're gonna be trading in, and they're applying it to the total price. So those 2 points I wanted to make.
Councilman Box?
No question.
Okay. Resolution going through the ordinance process on this one.
And these machines will not be until the first quarter of next year.
Okay.
So
Thank you, sir. Let's see here. Item number 20 and 21, kind of like what we've seen thus far, kind of go hand in hand as well. Resolve the resolution 2022 R147 declares that certain property, namely multiple tasers previously utilized by the Irondale Police Department, are not needed for public or municipal purposes, and direct disposals of such property through the sale to Accredited Security LLC. I'll go ahead and just read item number 21. Resolve the resolution 2022 R148 authorizes the city of Irondale to enter into an agreement with Axon Enterprises, Inc. to add new licenses and equipment to the city's current plan with Axiom that will provide 7 new body cameras for use by police officers in an amount not to exceed $16,716 even. So these, like we've seen in a few iterations thus far, these two sort of go hand in hand as well. Lieutenant, I don't know if anybody wants to speak on that. Thank you, sir.
Do you have any questions? Certainly.
I do not have any questions. Councilman London, any questions
No questions.
on either of the two items?
No questions.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yeah, and we're replacing we're disposing of these because they're out of service now, correct?
These, to bore you a little bit, the city entered into a contract in 2019 with Axon Enterprises, which is the parent company of Taser. They provide our body cameras and our tasers. Now, the tasers we're currently using in the field are something called the Taser 7. These are bleeding edge technology. They're essentially a handheld computer. They have all that computing power. The tasers we're using, which are X26Ps, they're outdated technology. They're not making any more parts. They're not making any more cartridges. They're dying. Taser didn't want them back. So we were sitting on them, and Chief Wiggins came to me one day and said, hey, can we maybe sell these things? And I was looking for some stuff, and we found this company. they are a sole source provider for this type of service. Did I provide you with that letter, April? They're sole, okay. And what we'll do with this sale of this taser equipment is we will take that money and put it towards these licensing. Now, the 11,000 and change isn't just for body cameras. It's for licenses, it's for tasers, we do annual training. It's for that. Anytime we fire a cartridge in the field to apprehend somebody, that's replaced as long as we have this. They've been very good to us. I've sent them damaged cameras, get them back in a week. Send them a taser that's non-functioning, something, no questions asked, we get it back. We're currently talking to them, doing some more stuff, but I didn't want to get ahead of myself. But yes, that's exactly what we do. I hope that helps you out.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Councilman Box?
No questions.
And I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I make one comment?
Please.
I like this guy. Don't this guy make the city look good, though? Don't he really? I mean, I really like this guy.
I like him too.
Yeah.
Okay, you're all about to witness some government corruption because I got to bribe the man.
The check's in the mail.
I will say this. Tasers work.
Yeah.
And they've put me down. I've been tased a bunch of times. Sergeant Hassett is an instructor. If I can't answer a question about Axon, that's why he's here. He should be on Axon. But they're great. Thank you for your.
I thought you were going to say he would tase you if you didn't know a question.
Well, if you guys could break ground on a new police station, you can tase me all you want.
Talk to Chief about your strategies over there.
Hey, just ask for it. The firemen get everything they want. Just ask for it.
You're sitting next to the guy. Trying to learn.
Oh, this is fantastic. All right. So item number 20 is good to go. It's a resolution going through the resolution process. Item number 21, which we also briefly discussed, would be a resolution needing to go through the ordinance process. So that is all 21 items deliberated. I know we've made some adjustments and we've moved some items around. So if anyone feels so emboldened to introduce our agenda for approval.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda with items 1 through 13 on consent and add item 18 to the consent, and items 14 through 21 to go forward as presented.
With correction.
One correction.
One correction.
Item
on 13. 11, yeah.
that we amend that to 6,000
Yep.
instead of 5,000.
And then I had, as far as the lease on 14, I had 10 on my copy, but I believe y'all's copy is correct with 15. Okay, perfect. Okay, we have agenda. We have a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. At this time, we would take public comments on agenda items only. So the items that we've been deliberating up here, we would take comments on those items specifically. Nope. Yes, sir.
On the, truck that we're selling, is it paid for? Fire truck, negative.
Chief.
Negative. This money will pay off the lease and then have money down for the new truck.
Understood. Do you need his name or address? You got it. Hey, Ross, we need to grab your address if we could, for the record. You're going to fill out a slip. Perfect. Any other comments for agenda items only at this time? All right, fair enough. At this time, I would ask for an approval of the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Outstanding. Moving on to new business, item number 14. Someone could take us through the process on that resolution 2022 R141.
I make a motion that resolution 2022 R141 be considered read.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion we suspend all rules that prevent the immediate consideration of resolution 2022 R141.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call. Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
And I make a motion finally that resolution 2022 R141 be approved and adopted.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Someone could lead us through item number 15, Resolution 2022 R142.
I make a motion that resolution 2022 R-142 be considered read.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we suspend all rules that would prevent the immediate consideration of resolution 2022 R-142.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call. Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
I make a motion that, that resolution 2022 R-142 be approved and adopted.
Second.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Someone could take us to the process on item number 16, which is resolution 2022 R143.
Make a motion that resolution 2022 R143 be considered read.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion we suspend all rules that prevent the immediate consideration of ordinance number 2022 R143.
Resolution.
I'm sorry, resolution.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call. Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
And myself, yes. And finally,
I make a motion that we approve and adopt resolution 2022 R143.
Second.
motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 17. If someone could take it to the process on 2022 R144.
I make a motion that resolution 2022 R-144 be considered read.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? Aye.
I make a motion that resolution 2022 R-144 that we would suspend all rules that would prevent the immediate consideration of it.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call. Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
I make a motion that resolution 2022 R-144 be approved and adopted.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. 18 was on consent, so thank you all for that. If someone could take us through the process on item number 19, 2022 R146.
Make a motion that resolution 2022 R146 be considered read.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? Aye.
Make a motion that we suspend all rules that will prevent the immediate consideration of ordinance 2022 R146.
Resolution.
Resolution. Yeah, I keep wanting to do an ordinance. 'Cause
I
it's an
know,
ordinance,
I
not
know,
there.
man. We have a motion on that.
Second.
Second roll call, Councilman London,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar, Councilman
Yes.
Box,
Yes.
and myself, yes.
And finally, I make a motion that resolution 2022 R146 be adopted and approved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 20. Let's see here. This is a resolution. Does not have to go through the process. So standard resolution. If someone could move on 2022 R147.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2022 R-147.
Second.
All right. Motion and second. I have roll call listed here. Councilman London,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar,
Yes.
Councilman Box,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Item approved. Okay. If someone could take us through the ordinance process on resolution 2022 R148.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Make a motion that resolution 2022 R148 be considered read.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion we suspend all rules that would prevent the immediate consideration of resolution 2022 R148.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call. Councilman London,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar,
Yes.
Councilman Box,
Yes.
and myself, yes.
And finally, I make a motion that resolution 2022 R148 be approved and adopted.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Outstanding. That takes us through our agenda. At this time, we would look for any public comments to the council on non-agenda items this evening. So these are not the items we've deliberated. These are non-agenda items. Yes, sir, in the back. But we'll be enforcing a 2-minute timer tonight. We'll just need if you could speak into the microphone, and we'll just need your name and address. Looks like you have your slip. Thank you, sir.
Distinguished members of the City Council, my name is Chaba Vedlik, and I'm at 5725 Belmont Drive here in Irondale. And I first of all wish to thank all of you for your dedicated service in making Irondale a better place to live. I've been here nearly 27 years, so thank you for your service. What has come to my attention, however, is cause for great concern. I understand that a city ordinance was recently passed without a public hearing. It involved the cities of Irondale, Birmingham, and the World Games. I was under the impression that a city ordinance could not be passed without a public hearing. I ask you, how could such a thing happen? Can we play fast and loose with the rules? Does the end, no matter how good we may think it is, justify the use of an unfair means, of an unlawful means? That is, in this case, breaking of a municipal law. I'm aware of the element of time constraints, but why was this allowed to get to the stage it did and not brought forward sooner for public comment? If we continue to go down this path in the future, then the rule of law will have been abandoned, and tyranny will have reared its ugly head to replace it. I implore all of you that such a thing never happen again. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. I would prefer to address that from a process standpoint, if I may. Our ordinances do not require us to have public hearings on those. So if there's something in our code that you're referencing, I would be very interested in seeing that, because as you could see this evening, with all due respect, we didn't pass any ordinances tonight, but as you can see in our previous meetings where we have passed ordinances very similar to that intergovernmental agreement, they do not call for public hearings. So that's why we did not have one. But if you have something that you've seen in our code that we need to revisit, I would be interested in taking a look at that. But thank you for your comments. Any other comments on non-agenda items tonight? Yes, sir.
Scott Lewis, 5189 Cornell Drive. I know I speak for my family. I just want to say thank you to the mayor, to the president, for clarifying a non-discrimination statute, I guess you would say. I had certain comments that I don't need to repeat, I'm not going to repeat, were very cruel, uncalled for, and it made us look bad. You guys stepped up and you decided to show who we really are in Irondale. And some people don't really want to get up and talk, but I'll say it. Thanks. We really do appreciate that. There's a lot of people who aren't here tonight who really, really do appreciate that. That's all.
Copy. Thank you, sir. Any other comments on non-agenda items? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Donna Pike, and I live at 440 East Ventura Drive, and yes, I forgot my slip. First of all, this was on the agenda, but I just wanted to say on behalf of the Jefferson County Board of Education how grateful we are for the great donation of $14,480 to the JCIB program. These are our future leaders. And for Irondale to give this amount of money to our future leaders, to enable them to do so many wonderful things, have so many maybe new programs, new, educational enhancers. And so thank you so much, council. Thank you, Mayor. We so appreciate it. I want to thank the fire department sincerely from the Jefferson County Board of Education. I have seen you and your men out at Irondale Community School giving the children a great inside, just, I don't know the words to say. It's just training them about what firemen do, how they work, the big trucks that come by them. They actually get to be on them and handle them, and that's great. And thank you so much. That takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of patience. So thank you so much. One more thank you is for our wonderful inspectors. I want to tell you that in my community, there has been some junk that has been moved, and honest to goodness, I'm so glad they didn't find Farmer John buried underneath it. It's been there so long. And so somebody has lit a fire somewhere. And I just wanted to thank them so much because it has really made a difference in our community, our quality of life. And if you haven't had a junk pile in your neighborhood for 20 years, you don't know what I'm talking about. But trust me, it will make a positive difference.
Thank you, ma'am.
Another thing I wanted to talk about, I'm not through yet.
We're like,
My quarter's worth is not up.
goodness. Let's
I would
keep
like
it brief, Ms. Pike.
for the council and the mayor to consider, and I know there's a personnel issue. I know that there are people, my superintendent said to me the other day, said, Miss Pike, where have all the people in Alabama gone? I said, I don't know, because it's so hard to find people, good people. It's so hard to hire people. And so our green space, let me put this in 10 words or less so I won't get in trouble. Our green space has been this high for most of the summer. It's not Public Works' fault. It's not anybody's fault, because there are just not enough personnel. And so I'm asking, because I've been doing some brainstorming, believe it or not, to consider subcontracting to maybe a landscaping company here in Irondale to take over the extra work. And as we grow and as we bloom with new parks, new dog parks, and our green space is not big, but it was this high, and for weeks. And it's only because it was, they couldn't get to it. So I think we need some help, and we got plan A, but we need plan B. And we might need plan C before it's over with.
I will let you work that out with the mayor, Ms. Pike.
What? What?
He got you. He gonna cut it next week.
Hallelujah. Okay, now I'm over time, right? I'm on
Indeed.
overtime.
We will take the compliments to our department heads off your time, but yes, we're still a little over there, darling. All right. Any other Any other comments on? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Colin Galletley. I first moved to Irondale in 1974, lived in Holiday Gardens. I presently live at 3580 Bermuda Drive, District 3. And if I was not in District 3, I'd probably move there because of Cindy. She has been very good at keeping us all informed, and she speaks as she believes. And we have similar beliefs. Now, I've missed all the fireworks for the last 2 weeks, 2 meetings, but I've read a lot online, different websites, some of which I believe and some of which I'm not so sure, but different websites who, reporters who were here who actually quoted Frank Pennington. And Frank said, and this is what was in the paper, he said, after a lot of comments were made, he stood up. He said, as a God-fearing Christian, I'm going to stand here. And then he continued, and I want to read just a few lines of Christian rock band, Newsboys. They have 6 gold albums, and they've been nominated by the Grammys 4 times. And just listen, it's just 6 or 7 lines. And you'll know how I feel about this subject that's been discussed when I read this. Who will I be when trouble comes calling for me? Will I live the way I believe when I'm backed up against the wall? What kind of heart do I have in my chest? Does it beat for my Savior or just for my flesh? What will I do in the moment that everything falls? I'm going to stand, and that's what Frank did. In a world that's breaking, stand, that's what Frank did. For a truth that's unchanging. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments on non-agenda items? Yes, ma'am.
Sandy Loriello, 5732 Bell Ridge Trail. I was made aware of some petition, and I'm like, was there a street address with these signatures, 300 people? Was it just a zip code put on there? Because can we get that petition that was supposedly done with all this? And I'm like, who are these 300 people? And then I'm reading in the paper about Finland and Sweden, and I'm going, what in the world is going on? But can we get a copy of that petition? Is that public?
You would have to reach out to the person that organized that petition, or possibly change.org. I believe that was the platform that was used. But regardless, some of the goals of that petition are something we're not even allowed to even approach in the first place. Okay. So just want to put that out there.
Well, I just didn't know if they had people's street addresses and zip codes.
I'm not familiar with how they.
What you have to do in a petition.
Not familiar how with change.org works.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask it.
Fair enough. Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions on non-agenda items? All right, we have no more comments on non-agenda items. I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I just want one thing. I want to make sure the approval of July 19th that I show abstain because I wasn't here.
Copy.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Motion.
Motion. We have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming out and joining us this evening. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday night.